working with. All right, it's very important that we have a strong relationship with all of our partners, and part of that is understanding who we are and where we came from. The next thing I want to talk about is product choice. And when I say product choice, I mean how we choose what product we're going to put to market, what we're going to be showing your prospects, what is the process of coming up with that choice. We're going to talk about our launch process. This is from start to finish. I want you to understand how we build a relationship with your prospects and nurture that relationship, and then sell them on our products and generate commissions for you. That's obviously the primary focus here, is to generate commissions for you. We're going to talk about our testing process. I think testing is very important, and I'm going to explain a little bit why. Some affiliates don't do a lot of testing, but we do a lot of testing. So we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about cookies. Everyone kind of has a different opinion on what is the best cookie, what they like to get involved with. You know, sometimes if you tell them your first in, they're like, oh, I don't want to mail that. Sometimes if you tell them your last in, oh, I don't want to mail that. So we have a great solution. It's a hybrid solution. I think everyone's gonna really appreciate what it does. So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about commissions, and of course, when you get paid, we're going to make sure that's crystal clear, because ultimately that's what we're all here for, right? To get paid. And then we're going to talk about our launch schedule. I want to make sure you know what the key dates are, and this way you can put them on your calendar well in advance and be ready and good to go. Now let's talk a little bit about the webinar itself, or I guess let's just move into company history, I should say. The company started years ago, and really was a management company. I worked for a small little training type company as a corporate trainer, and I did two things. I trained their trainers, if that makes sense, as well as managed a company account. That was kind of my start in the business. From there, I started managing funds on a larger scale, to the point of millions of dollars, well into seven figures. So that's kind of where I started in the Forex and where the company history began. From that, I had a lot of people ask me, well, you're doing well. Will you teach me how to do this? So from there, we started selling products. That was in 2006 is when we really started selling products, and we used a much different model back then than we use now. We were actually 100% monthly and 100% word of mouth. We did no paid advertisement. We had no affiliates. Everything was pretty much word of mouth, and we were making 6+ figures a month, each and every month, on a $300 a month product. So we did very well, and over the years, of course, we've had to adapt. The market's changed, and the way prospects respond to offers has changed as well. So now we're very involved in the affiliate niche, and we're really good at what we do. We do 2 to 3 multi-million-dollar launches every year, and that's not very common in our niche. There's not many people can say they do more than one launch a year that does $1 million. In fact, most companies can't say they do $1 million launch at all. So the bottom line is, we've got a formula. It works. We know how to sell your prospects on our products, and ultimately your prospects like our products because they work. That's what it comes down to. It's a win-win for everybody in the relationship here. Let's talk about product choice. For a long time, we've used a publisher's model, and what that means is we don't set out to develop a product with the purpose of selling it. A lot of companies do this. I personally think it's a bad idea. I think the motives are in the wrong place, and the product is not necessarily going to have any longevity. So what we do is we reach out to professional traders, essentially anyone who's got a successful strategy with a good track record that goes back for a couple of years. Somebody who knows what they're doing, and we work a deal with them. And essentially we take their product. It's not a product yet. We take their strategy, I should say. We develop a product around it, and then we take that to market. And this way it ensures that the product we take to market is a high-quality product that actually works, versus just something that was thrown together that's got a good hook and people are going to like. We find products that have both. They're solid products that work, and they have a good hook. That's the model we've used in the past. Now, I started out initially selling my own strategy. But of course, there's only so many people in our niche, and selling thousands and thousands of them at a time, it's at some point you've got to find new strategies, and that's why we migrated to the publisher model. Now, what we're doing this time is a little different. There was a strategy that I used as a fund manager that I've never ever divulged, primarily because it's not something that I wanted to give out. Recently, we have taken that strategy and basically hit it in some indicators. So now I'm able to give the strategy out to a prospect, let them trade it without actually giving up the goodies. So it's a win-win. I keep the secret safe, and we're still equipped with a product to take to market that's very, very effective. In fact, people are eating it up. We're in beta now, and we just released the demo version, which is the full version. It's just a trial, is what it is, and people are coming back with phenomenal results, saying they're making thousands of dollars, and it's blowing my mind. So your prospects are going to eat it up. It's a solid strategy. I personally use it to manage, like I said, $1 million plus fund. So the product is great. It's a trend trading strategy, and a lot of people can relate to this. It's something that people have heard all their life. I mean, as far as their trading life goes, you want to trade with the trend, and this really does appeal to that exact concept, and people they respond to it. That's the bottom line. They've heard it for so long, they respond to it. So here's our launch process. All right, we have a fairly in-depth launch process. We start out by giving them some free software, and again, this is part of what I call phase one. The first week of our launch is all about building a relationship with your prospect, building their trust, letting them use the software, because it does work. So we have, kind of an advantage in this market. We can let them use our software because we know they're going to benefit from it. And, from there, we provide them with some demonstration and some basically a training video is what it's disguised at. But ultimately, in addition to the training, what they're seeing is several examples of the software being used successfully, making thousands and thousands of dollars in real time in the live market. We don't do the screenshot thing. We actually, record the screen when the entry signal pops up, record us entering the trade, and then as the trade progresses, we record the management. So they're learning. It's a very good tool to build trust, and they're also seeing the results. And we've had a huge response in building trust and really just having a really strong launch. Then the third part is the secret insider information. I have a contact that I have made just from my years in the market who essentially works with a very large hedge fund operator, and we're talking about like a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. And this hedge fund shares data feeds with 5 or 6 of the world's largest institutions, like banks and a couple of other hedge funds in the world. And they all use the same algorithm, and they all share their flow data to run this algorithm. So this algorithm essentially spits out levels, and it took a trade that I was in down almost $500,000 and turned it into $1 million win. They called a level to the pip. It was amazing. We actually marketed this back in 2007, 2008 at $800 a month, and people ate it up. In fact, the only reason we quit is because we kind of lost contact with our contact. Just to make a long story short. In any case, that communication has been renewed, that data is available again, and we're going to be sharing this secret inside information with your prospects. And again, they're going to eat it up. It is amazing to watch, to actually see the market run up to these levels almost to the pip. It's almost like magic. It really is. So this is the first phase we've just finished. The first 3 content pieces is phase 1. Now we're moving into phase 2, which is sales week, and this is when we open up the sales page and push your prospects to our sales page. Now, of course, there is an early bird, and people respond really well to the early bird because we build a lot of anticipation, and they're ready to go when the time comes. And when we open the sales page up to you as an affiliate the first day of the next week, a lot of times we're close to being sold out already, so it creates a massive amount of scarcity. And the sales week is really an exciting week. Next thing we do is we pull in some training webinars, and this is a training webinar, but it's also a sales webinar. You could say it's a sales webinar disguised as a training webinar, and we convert anywhere from 10 to 12% on average across all of our webinars on a $2,000 price point. So very strong conversions. So you want to make sure your prospect makes it to the training webinars. Now we do have a last chance. This is going to come in week 3. Our launches are 3 weeks long, and I'm going to break down the key dates and how this works. It's always good if you can take part in last chance, but we do understand that your schedule books up. But we would like to have at least 2 weeks of you mailing for us, and that's going to ensure that you get the best possible result.